break sometime. And the people who own this yurt, they won't even mind me coming here. I mean, it's been vacant for so long, they won't even know that I'm here. No harm done. And besides, the for sale sign fell off its chains ages ago. The door wasn't even locked. Look at this place.
So idyllic on the outside, so flawed on the inside. I can't rest, I can't sleep, I can't stop to eat or drink. I feel like I'm running out of time. Ideas are swirling through my mind and slithering. They won't let go of me.
I don't know why I have such a strong compulsion to set everything into ink.
I need to pull the worms out of my head so I can clear my mind.
It's like an anaconda is slithering around me and strangling me. I just need to write and write and keep on writing until I can extract all of these worms from my brain. And then I can rest. And then I can go home. I know. I'll write a play.
Death, life, how can one not feel nihilistic about it all? What is the point?
Ever since my earliest memories, I can remember feeling terribly frightened of death. Death of my own inner voice, death of my constant streams of worries, death of my own personal bully. I'd love to silence these voices, but as of yet, I can't do it! I can't do it! Maybe this could be the answer.
The universe sends us where we imagine we'll go.
Lenore.
I'm dying. It's okay. It happens to everyone. It's just that it snuck up on me. You know, I never cared for death. It doesn't suit me. I had decided long ago not to take part in this human obsession with death and afterlife and religion and spirituality. After all, it's just big business. In this self-improvement age, Mother Culture whispers in our ears to embrace our spiritual sides. But don't kid yourselves. Spirituality is big business, just the same as religion. Equipped with its own dogma and New Age doctrines. It's a $1 billion market. We pick and choose and tailor it to reflect how we want our personalities to look like. It's about image and fear. This is big business. Big business knows our weakness for this unanswerable question, and they are exploiting us, preying on us. Image and fear. The driving forces of our time, our species. It doesn't matter what spectrum we land on between atheism or evangelism or chakras to Confucianism. We will never know for certain. So why do we, as a species, obsess about it? Answer, image, and fear. That being said, now a coffin is being built around me. Death is knocking. He wants to come in and talk about what awaits me after my final breath is expelled. The clock counts down. My finite heart beats with its incessant tick-tock, keeping me alert to the fact that I am insubstantial. Now the looming question of death and afterlife grips me the same as everybody else. All right, Death, you can come in. I'm ready.
You seem nervous, Lenore. There is nothing to fear here. I am but a humble usher.
Right. Well, where do we start?
Where do you imagine that your consciousness or spirit will go when your body begins to rot and turn to dust?
I don't know. Can you tell me?
I could, but I find that it helps if I provide some examples. Zachary, loved his cat. His feline companion grew very old and plump due to such good care and companionship. But at the ripe old age of 23, Zachary's cat bit the dust. Zachary was left behind to ponder the casual and lethargic existence of his former pet. Having never given much thought to the afterlife, Zachary decided then and there that the life of a cat, well, that was the life to envy. A life filled with relaxation and indifference. So, when Zachary left an aged space heater plugged in one night and his apartment burned down with him in it, reincarnated as a house cat. He had pictured so clearly an existence resembling that of his former pet that he was transported into the body of a 25-pound ginger named Hindu. His soul had been transported into a new life, one filled with luxurious naps, casual living. He would eat, he slept, he became an avid bird watcher. At night, he would curl up at the head of his owner's bed and flick his tail in their face, back and forth, back and forth. It was a comfortable existence for Zachary, and then one that he accepted with absoluteness. Sally was a drunk. She came by it quite honestly, though. Sally had lost a child when it was very young. The only way that she could stay in this world without her baby was to numb the pain. She staggered, stumbled through her days, and wept bitter tears into her poison at night. Now she knew, deep, deep in her heart, that her baby was waiting for her on some celestial plane where the very young, very innocent, go to play and wait for their parents. A place where sickness can never touch a child. But she knew also that to get there herself, she couldn't rush it. She couldn't hurry it along in any abrupt or suicidal way. She had to wait for sickness to take her too. So when her liver failed and she foamed at the lips, she slipped into an eternal slumber and was reunited with her daughter on a celestial planet filled with fairy dust and fairy tales. Simon loved the game of chess. He had been introduced to the game by his father at the age of 2. One day when Simon was very young, he passed by a graveyard and exclaimed to his mother, excitedly, viewing the graveyard through a lens of childhood excitement, that the tombstones, they all look like giant chess pieces, and I would like to play with them. His mother had to explain to him exactly what a graveyard was. But young Simon was still convinced that the dead spent their nights playing chess with their tombstones. And so, one Christmas Eve, when he slipped getting into the bathtub and hit his head hard on the toilet seat, he awoke in a garden, a graveyard of the dead, filled with beautiful flowers and a well-manicured lawn. Simon spent his time in this garden with the dead, playing nightly games of ghostly chess. Clarice loved to dream. She loved to sleep so that she could dream. Some might say that she lived to dream. She would spend her waking hours going over her sleeping thoughts, and she became obsessed with trying to induce lucid dream states. She would visit a psychic daily to discuss her nightmares and her daydreams. She had a collection of sleeping aids, ones that she would use to sleep any time that she wanted. She became convinced that if she could come to understand how her brain contrived these fantasies, that maybe she could understand her true self. Now secretly she ruminated that dreams were another dimension, another reality that we could only tap into while sleeping. So, when she found herself choking on one of her favorite green seedless grapes, she was actually all right with this, for she knew that she was just moving on to another one of the 7 planes of existence. Now, we've all heard Bill say, "Hey, I'm going to hell anyway. Might as well have some fun along the way, huh?" What Bill didn't once stop to ponder was the message that he was sending out to the universe. He wasn't going to hell. Not because of any dirty human deeds or because of any vengeful God. No, Bill was going to the typical Western version of hell precisely because he thought it. So as Bill enjoyed his favorite ladies of the night, snorting coke off each one in turn until something in his brain went pop. Bill entered hell. All flames and lava, devils and pitchforks. Bill entered an afterlife filled with back-breaking, skin-peeling, nail-pulling, eye-popping, eternal devouring, sharp-toothed pain. He went exactly where he thought he would go. For better or for worse, Bill was home. Eternally. Stuart had a huge distaste for religion. It had never sat well with him. Yes, in Sunday school, when all the other kids were blissfully coloring Jesus' face yellow or pink, he would sit alone and ponder the existence of this giant genie in the sky who granted wishes to those who prayed, and wondered why he never got that BMX bike that he prayed for. Or why a God said to be so kind will that allow his dog Champ to be run over by the neighbor's car. He would frustrate his religious teachers with blissfully simple yet incredibly insightful questions like, who created God? And what is God made of anyway? As he grew, he became a staunch atheist, and he was fairly sure that there was nothing awaiting him when he died. So the day that he saw the high beams of a jacked-up Ford F-150 veering towards him on the highway, he knew that nothing awaited him. Nothing. A void. A black hole. Now you have something to go by. So I'll put it to you again. Where do you think you will go?
So I get to choose.
It's not quite that simple. You see, some people may believe in their own personal hell or paradise, but they don't really believe in its existence. It's your subconscious that really chooses.
Well, I've always had this nagging idea, but it's quite strange.
Oh, go on. Run with it.
Well, humans, we are a systematic virus created by a superior alien race. I'm pretty sure we're just in a petri dish right now. We're an experiment to see how quickly we can destroy this little planet and scant universe. Our virus is speeding up, replicating and multiplying at a faster rate, becoming more efficient, more destructive, and more ruthless. The scientists will be pleased. They've created a weapon of mass destruction. They'll perfect us and use us against their enemies. So I suppose I'm off to different lands, different universes. Thank you for this.
Well, that was a first. Enjoy your conquests, Lenore. It's been a productive day.
There. The worms have finally ceased their slithering. Now I can go home.
The sun is up. I didn't mean to be gone for so long. I only meant to be gone for the afternoon. Now it's morning and Donovan and the kids are going to be so worried, wondering where I am. and gets away from me. My family needs me. What was I thinking? I broke into someone's yurt. What am I even doing here? What am I writing about? I've got to get out of here. Wait, there's more. There's always more.
Stop, Phoenix. What do I have to show for my absence? Lenore! Scribblings of a mad woman. Incoherent ideas. I'll never make anything out of this rubbish. I'll never shape it or form it into something edible. I have no staying power. I am unable to finish anything I start. Bursts of creativity begun in a manic state and end just as quickly.
I've peaked, and now I'm in a nosedive. I'm gonna return home worse than when I left. My shadow bigger than my body.
I feel like I'm sitting in the middle of a sinking sandbar. The tide is slowly absorbing my tiny island. The water is creeping closer and closer to me. I am separated from the land, isolated on my muddy isle. Clothing is getting heavier as the ocean sinks in. Rising water is beginning to make me sway. Where once there was land, there now be but sea. Just as the wave must rise, it must also crash down. When my depression swells in me, I am acutely self-aware, like a white rabbit illuminated against a dark background for all predators to see. The light is too bright. The sound's too harsh. The water too cold. I need to find a dark cave to crawl into. Stay hidden. Stay there! Let the beasts gobble me up.